What's up, everybody? Astrocatical here. Welcome to the Astrocastrophe. And tonight I have a little bit of a treat for you. This is Unavowed. It is a game published by the same dudes who did The Excavation of Hobbs Barrow, which, if you haven't played, I highly recommend it. This game has had some very good reviews on Steam. I've heard much about it in comparison to some other games. I was thinking about playing Nightmare Frames before trying out this, but while I was looking through some of the reviews, this was recommended, and this has been on my wish list for a while now. It's got overwhelmingly positive reviews all around for Steam, so I think this is probably one of the better adventure games out there. I really need a good adventure game. The last one I played was honestly Thimbleweed Park, which is not saying a whole lot. That was a Ron Gilbert game, of course, so it had its merit, but anyone who has played it knows that Ron Gilbert is kind of a hack when it comes to endings, and let me tell you, I might do a playthrough of that game at some point for anyone who's just curious as to why I'm so angry about the ending, or if they're curious as to why everybody else in the fucking world is angry about the ending. You'll immediately see why. Like, it's a very meta ending, to say the least. Very meta, and he does that a lot in his work. The only time he really accomplished it, did something good with it, was LeChuck's Revenge. That was a great ending. It was the most controversial ending in video game history, in my honest opinion, and it wasn't anything weird. I mean, it was a little disturbing in some sense. It was kind of disturbing, but you know, this was kind of, at the same time, it was like a PG rated sort of game with like a really witty sense of humor that only adults would get, but it really wasn't made for kids. It's just the ending really got you thinking. Anyways, he did not do that with Thimbleweed Park. Regardless of that, from start to finish, Thimbleweed was an excellent game until you got to the final chapter when everything began to cave in and you're just like, wait a minute, this is stupid, you know? Like, that's how you feel at the end of the game. At least that's how I felt. You know, if the characters, you know, you had the FBI agents, you had the clown, you had the ghost, and I think you had someone else. I just can't recall who it was. It's probably one of the more boring characters that oh yeah, the niece with the braces and the glasses, like the super genius girl. Anyways, I loved all the characters from start to finish, and then at the end of the game, you're like, what? Really? But I mean, could you expect anything less? Anyways, regardless of that, I need a really good goddamn adventure game. It's been a long time since I had one that I've thoroughly enjoyed, so I'm hoping this one does it. The Excavation of Hobbs Barrow was a good adventure game. Don't get me wrong, but it was very bleak, but that's what it set out to accomplish. It reached its goal. The main character was someone that you really warmed up to, and a character you like from start to finish. The game itself is very similar to, you know, some recent horror movies, particularly Midsummer. It kind of reminds me of the setting for Lamb too. If anyone has actually watched that whole movie, I began watching it a little while ago, and I thought it was bizarre. I still gotta go back to finish it. Anyways, like I said, I need a good horror game. This is sort of a darker sort of undertone, like fantastical type of game from my understanding, with somewhat of a horror theme. I was going to play Nightmare Frames instead, which is more of a horror game, but it's more like a homage to horror games than it is an actual horror game. An actual horror game would try to scare you. I don't think Nightmare Frames tries to scare you. I think it's more or less just giving a few tilts of the hat to old slasher films, because the game is literally about a screenwriter who's writing the next slasher film. Anyways, I digress. Let's get into the game, see what we're getting our hands into, and see if it delivers. If this game delivers. Okay, that volume is a little loud on my end. I actually have headphones. So okay, I hope that's I'll keep the SFX volume up and the music just a little low. All right. Reason being is I want you guys to hear it, but I need to be able to hear myself. So we're gonna. Wow, pretty impressive. Nice title screen.
May you be snatched away from this place. You shall no more dare to deceive, persecute, and torment. As smoke is driven away, as wax melts before the fire, so shall you be driven away, unclean spirit.
Wow.
Silence! Now answer true. Are you demon, man, or woman? Demon! Your power over his mind is waning. Release him now! Release him before I am forced to destroy you! Remember, you are human. Remember! Tell us, before the demon regains control, your name. Tell us your name!
My name is... Oh, I'm not... Astro... Catical. Sometimes it's just Astro for short. Easy there. Easy there.
Did you hear that, evil spirit? He knows himself. He is yours no longer. Now, your past. Tell me something about your past. Your profession. Quick!
I'm not telling you anything.
No!
Answer his question. We do not want to destroy you along with the demon, but we will if we have to.
I like the police officer.
Yes! He's beginning to remember. Sworn to protect the innocent from those who would do them harm. Inside you is a spirit who will destroy many unless you stop it. Do your duty one last time. Fight it! Remember who you are!
He said duty.
Remember!
Staten Island, Club Eternox, 1 year ago. Eternox?
All right, this is the place. Just one thing before we get going. I want you to take point. You think you're ready?
About damn time, Vicky.
Well, maybe you earned it, maybe you haven't. Either way, I need you on this. I know this looks routine, just a bunch of goth kids getting high and causing trouble, but something doesn't smell right. And by that, I mean the uniform who called it in. According to dispatch, it was Franco Marino.
Who is Franco Marino?
Not surprised you haven't heard of him. He hasn't exactly made waves. Just do your job. Get statements, talk to Marino about what happened. After that, we'll see if there's anything worth talking about. Well, after you, partner.